When you see Franklin Graham, frankly, using the credibility of his father, Pastor Billy Graham, to get these various interviews, do what he did, where are some of these other religious leaders? Where's Rick Warren? Where are these others who stood on that Capitol Hill giving the prayer for the inauguration? Why are they unwilling to call him out for what he's done?
Well, certainly they are not prophetic. I mean, American Christianity, and I guess I should say not just American Christianity across the board, but American evangelical Christianity, which is the platform out of which Franklin Graham speaks, has a narrow litmus test of what composes faith.
I also want to say that righteousness and justice is a biblical paradigm. As you look at that, different communities see it differently. White evangelicals, by and large, I've spent the last 10 years trying to bring some integration and unity between these groups. Spend a lot of time white evangelicals. They say, if you don't believe that abortion is wrong, same-sex marriage is wrong, these are what I call righteousness issues.
Right, but you've never seen them though at a rally where a person has been shot and killed by the cops because they don't value that particular life as well.
Exactly. The issue of justice then is not dealt with. So the justice issue, African Americans tend to think, hey, you need to make sure people are safe, we get education, we get finance. But the Bible does not say righteousness or justice. It says righteousness and justice.
But on this issue, when you look at where Graham is coming from, what is amazing to me is the silence of many of what even my brother in the media may choose to call these accepted religious leaders. Now, Pastor Smith, speaking to that point, I mean, look, since, of course, the president went to your church on Easter Sunday, and then all of a sudden, folks like Sean Hannity and Bill O'Reilly and others have been attacking you because of comments that you've made, and all of a sudden, you've been getting death threats as well.
Well, you know, one of the things I think the three of us are certainly aware of, and that is that the black church is free in a way that the white church is not. In that, by and large, if we are speaking the truth from a biblical perspective, our churches, they may think we're not speaking it as well as we might or as poetically as we might, but they're not going to challenge the substance of what we say. Whereas with a Franklin Graham, his constituency is poised and ready, as those who jumped on me this week, to say the moment you violate what we see as our vested interests, we are no longer going to follow you. And so they walk a fine line, they walk a tightrope in which if they step at all outside of their constituents' perspectives, they're going to be taken down as leaders. Graham is a smart politician. A story, a lot of people don't realize this. Martin Luther King Jr. and Franklin's father, Billy Graham, were pretty good friends. And Graham, at one point, even offered to join with King in some of the marches. And King discouraged him from doing that because King knew that the moment a Billy Graham shows up on a protest line, that's the end of his sweeping hold on the American South. And Graham took him to heart and determined basically that he would try and work within the structure rather than standing outside of it. And at that point, he refused to allow any more segregation in his meetings. But King knew something that at that point I think Graham didn't, and that is with white religion, it is very unforgiving. It will not permit you to step outside of the cookie-cutter sense of what is expected of a preacher.
Well, go ahead. My concern really is not white religion. It's more, over the last several years, the dichotomy I'm talking about. If you're going to be a conscience to the nation, you can't be owned by a party.
That's right.
Full stop. So when white evangelicals over-identify with Republicans, they get used, but they think that they get some benefit. That's where the breakdown comes. And historically, black folks have said, we're with the Democrats. I maintain that what we need is a total separation, in a sense, and call both these jokers, if I can call them that, to accountability, because all of them are self-seeking, power-oriented, money-oriented, and I think we have the beguiling of our prophetic voices, and it shouldn't be the case. We need to be a conscience.
The African American preacher has a different set of responsibilities and expectations that do not apply within other cultures. Our congregations expect us to speak to prevailing social issues. They expect us to address political concerns. They expect us to be concerned about issues of justice and peace and fair play. We are not expected to remain reticent or silent on these issues. And in fact, when we do not speak out, we are more in trouble than we are if we do.